Good afternoon all, Chris here. End of another busy week and we are smashing our way towards Christmas where I can eat my own body weight in mince pies. So today's topic really I wanted to cover was on surveys. Reason being is I was talking with somebody earlier in the week who wasn't entirely sure which was the best way to go, and they hadn't moved for a long time. So just wanted a bit of guidance as to which level of survey to go with, I suppose, is the best thing. So let's have a quick sort of chat about that. Now, these are my views, of course. I think the thing I will say with surveys is you have to feel comfortable that you are getting the right survey for yourself. So whilst I do obviously trust my abilities to look at these things, you have to be comfortable. You're the ones buying the property. So hopefully this will give you a bit of guidance as to which way to go. So the first report is going to be your mortgage valuation, instructed by the mortgage lender, really to assess the value of the property and obviously is it the right investment for the lender to be loaning out money on. So they will look at property value, of course, and they will need comparable evidence to sign off this mortgage. So if you get a bit of a wayward estate agent who puts a fantastic figure on and it happens to sell, just be wary that they will have to find, I think it's from my last recollection, 3 either exchanged or certainly completed, maybe exchanged properties that are similar in the last 3 months. So just be wary of that. If your estate agent is struggling to find those comparables, then be wary that that is what's needed if you've got obviously a mortgage on your property. Now, don't be worried. They will obviously cover these reports. Mortgage valuations will obviously cover an element of condition of the property, not a huge amount because they'll be basically looking for structural movement, that kind of thing, anything that could cause issues and obviously make the property non-mortgageable. So they will look out for very, very important points. You know, any cracking, obviously we'll need further investigation with an engineer's report. I think they might look at things like the electrics, if you've got an old RCD, that kind of stuff that could make it deem it unmortgageable. So that's kind of is not the entry level, but that's kind of the first level, and that for the most part you could probably use on a much newer property. Certainly when you look at new builds and up to 10-20 years, the mortgage valuation might suffice. Certainly a bit more. I think it's, again, you've got to look for yourself and see if there are any issues that are visible in the property. If you're not comfortable just going with a mortgage valuation, what you can then do is get yourself a home buyer's report, which will go in depth. That will look all over the place. They will look in the loft. They will look at all the various different elements of a property and give you a proper condition report. So that usually, to be fair, is in my experience one of the most common one. Certainly if properties getting sort of 30-40 years onwards, and even older than that, it's getting back to I think Victorian, sort of to the 30s, 1930s, 1920s, Victorian and earlier. I think your lender won't let you just have a mortgage evaluation. You'll have to have a home buyer's report as well. So, and that is a very in-depth report. Yeah, that will tell you what is wrong, how to fix it, and sometimes give you estimations on costs as well. They will mostly advise that you get things checked out by obviously a specialist in that particular field that they're recommending. Now moving on to the next report is your full structural report. As it says, it is a full structural report that will go very in depth into a property and give you the warts and all information on a property. Usually these reports are brought about obviously if you notice something is wrong, if you can see lots of cracks in certain areas, then, you know, and say it's an old property, a cottage, or, you know, that kind of thing, or a large old country house, then yeah, you might obviously want to go down this route to make sure you don't have any problems later on. Now, in all these reports, of course, you can have then the structural engineers report, which certainly on certain elements of the valuation and the home buyers report, they will recommend if they see any current or progressive movement, they might investigate, sort of require further investigation with a structural engineers report, which will focus usually on certain areas. So they're kind of the main reports that you get. Now, so the home buyers, the mortgage valuation, certainly new builds, in my experience, unless there's any visible issues, will be fine. A home buyers report is your kind of most common one, but in most circumstances, they might not cover the valuation element. So you do have to have both the mortgage valuation and the home buyers report. And then for more complex properties or properties where you can see there's evidence of movement, then you might go for your full structural report. So just a bit of an overview of kind of sort of my thoughts on which reports to go for. By all means, give me a call, drop me a message. More than happy to have further conversations on this, on the various different surveys. And of course, any other questions at all, please give me a call. Have a good weekend. Hopefully I'll speak to you all again soon, and enjoy the week. Cheers.